What is going on YouTube? Welcome to another video in my tutorial series where I talk about Java. Now today we're going to be talking about inheritance, and this is going to be sort of a long topic to talk about, but I'm going to try the best as I can because this is really an important topic and you are going to be using this quite a lot, and in fact this is one of the most popular interview questions out there, so pay attention. Now, the first thing I want to say about inheritance is that inheritance is basically a relationship. So, if we take a look at our human class right here, we have the following. I've created these methods right here. We have a name, right? So we're saying, okay, all humans have a name. All humans have perhaps a color, the color of the skin and whatever. Um, we've created getters for it, and we have a constructor for this human class. Now, what if we wanted to create a boy? Okay, we wanted to create an instance of a boy. Now, we could just go ahead and go. Let's head it all over to the source. Go to new, hit Java class. I'm gonna create this class right here, boy. We could go over to human, copy all the stuff, head over to boy, paste it in there, and change this to boy and say, hey, there we go. We created a boy, and we know a boy has name, has color, just like a human, because human boy is a human. Okay, now that will work fine, and everything will run just fine. But remember what I've been stressing throughout most of my videos, at least I believe, which is we don't want to repeat code that already exists. And the reason for that is it increases our chances of error. Okay? So can you imagine if humans all of a sudden we evolved into something else, and all of a sudden all humans had tails? Whoa, would you think about that? Now we would head over to our human class and we would say private, some sort of property string, say tail, right? Something like that. And that would be great, but now all of our classes that has is a human would have to go over to boy, add that variable, we head over to girl, add that variable, we head over to babies, add that variable, old people, add that variable. Wow, can you imagine how messy that would be? That's not really a smart thing to do. And as programmers, we're always trying to find new and smarter ways to do things. And one of the ways we've come up with is inheritance. So what that basically does for us is instead of creating all this code that we already have, we can inherit it from a class that has all this stuff. And when we do this, usually it's because of a is a property. So in our case, a boy is a human. And the way we perform this inheritance I'm talking about is with the extends keyword. So extends human. All right, and what is this going to tell us? There's no default constructor. Okay, I'm going to go on and tell you what that's about in a little bit. But now what this does for us, essentially, now our boy is a human. And everything that is in the human class right here, the name, the color, all that good stuff is going to be available to us as well. So I'm going to go ahead and prove that. So first thing we gotta do is, why don't we go ahead and create a constructor for this boy class, and it's given us an error. So let me fix that in just a little bit. I'm gonna create this constructor, and if you recall, this is our default default constructor for a boy. Now the reason it's giving us an error is because every time we inherit something from another class. Remember, let's take a look at our human class here. We have this constructor that says, hey, in order to create an instance of me, you gotta give me a name and a color. If not, you can't create me. Those are my rules. So when we inherit a human class, we have to follow its rules. We have to follow this human class's rule. And its rule is saying this: to create me, okay, you can create me, I'll let you do that, but you're gonna have to conform to my constructor, which in our case is our only constructor. So let's head on over to our boy class, and I'm gonna type in the super keyword. What? Now, when I first heard of this super keyword, it made absolutely no sense to me. So I'm gonna try to make this as painless as possible, okay? What the super keyword is basically a way we initialize our human class right here. And all this super keyword does is essentially call this method right here, this constructor. So when we see super, think constructors. Okay, so it's gonna call a constructor that matches whatever parameters we passed in. So in our case, we're gonna have to have these two parameters right here. So why don't we go ahead and do that? Perhaps this boy's name is gonna be Jack, and he's gonna have some. Oops, he's gonna have some color. Whatever, white. What the hell? Um, now we're gonna have this, and you're gonna notice the arrow goes away, and you remember. Sorry about that. Remember what I said about being able to use methods that's available to us, even though you don't see no methods here. We don't see any variables, we don't see any methods, but I'm gonna show you we can actually access all these methods right here, even though we don't see them in our boy class. Okay, we don't see no methods here, so let's head on over to our main sorry about that, our main class here. I'm gonna create an instance of that boy. Sorry about that. I'm gonna create an instance of that boy right there. Um, let's see here. What do I want to do? Oh, that text threw me off. Okay, there we go. Boy. Let's call this boy James. New boy. And one thing you're gonna notice, first of all, is why don't we head over to our boy class here? Every time we create an instance of our boy here, we're calling him Jack. We're giving him a color of white. Okay, and that is obviously kind of not what we want to do. So what we really want to do is give our boy here some parameters. Perhaps we give him the name James, and we'll give him the color white right here. Head on over here to our boy class, and instead of hard coding these right here, we're gonna change these. So we're gonna pass our variables to our boy constructor right here. We're gonna pass these two. So we're gonna call these string name, string color. And instead of hard coding these, we're gonna put name right there. We're gonna put color right there. All right, that's what we have. Let's head on back over to our main class here, and I'm gonna do the following. So James dot get name. Well, this is not gonna do nothing for us until we print it out. If not, you won't be able to see anything on the screen. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and run that, and you're gonna see we get the name James printed out to our console right there. Now, what is happening here? Now, let's head back over to our boy class, because this is a instance of boy, right? We have boy. We created James. Head on to our boy. Hey, we don't see a method called, what do you call it, the get name. We don't see it here. Oh, that's because we inherited from this humans class, and this human contains a method called getName. So there you go. I proved it to you. You can access variables that don't. Oh, I'm sorry. Methods that aren't even in this class, but because we inherited everything from this human class right here, we now have access to everything without having to copy all this code and pasting it in there. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video on inheritance. I know this might be a little confusing, and this was probably a little longer videos than the videos I usually make, but like I said, this is an important topic and a popular interview question. So if you didn't quite get it, watch it again and again, and remember to mess around with the code. That's how you really learn. So mess around with your IDE, mess around with Java, mess around with inheritance, and I promise you, you will get it. If you like this video, please hit that like button, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.